Welcome to Middle Class Matters. Today, the 15th June 2023, Business News in English from Dr. CMA MB Allegation. A report of the expert committee constituted by the Honorable Supreme Court of India on Adani issues. Today, part number 9, we will see the following. Adani listed companies and public shareholding. Para number 37. The foundation of SEBI's suspicion that led to investigations into the shareholding of the FPIs in the Adani listed companies is that their ownership structure is opaque because the ultimate chain of ownership above the 13 overseas entities holding Adani Group stocks is not clear. SEBI has found 42 contributories to the assets under management of the 13 overseas entities and has been pursuing various avenues to ascertain the same through engagement with overseas regulators and other Indian enforcement agencies. Para 38. The listed Adani companies assert compliance with minimum public shareholding requirements. In none of them do they admit to having promoter shareholding of above 75%. It has been a long-standing suspicion of SEBI that some of the public shareholders are not truly public shareholders and they could be friends for the promoters of these companies. Para 39. Of the 13 overseas entities, 12 are registered as FPIs with SEBI through designated depository participants DPs and one is a foreign financial body corporate. The collective holding of these 13 overseas entities in the investments are made by the entity in question is to be determined for any owner of such entity in question holding 25% or more of such entity. The 25% ownership threshold to identify the ultimate beneficial owner under the anti-money laundering law was lowered by SEBI in its application to FPIs to 10% ownership threshold. This is quite consistent with the Companies Act 2013, which too requires filings of ultimate beneficial owners for shareholders holding more than 10% in an Indian company. Para 34. On the strength of this requirement, in 2019, SEBI did away with the regulatory stipulation against having an opaque ownership structure. The thinking evidently was that if every FPI was required to provide information about beneficial owners in respect of owners holding more than 10% of the FPI, there was no need to have a massive requirement to know the ultimate beneficial owner of every single owner of the FPI. Para 35. The complexity emerges from the fact that in FPIs that are collective investment pools such as mutual funds, participating shareholders, that is the contributors, provide the funds that are placed under the control of the controlling shareholders, that is the fund managers. Para 36. If a promoter were funding such participating shareholders, the simplest form would be to indirectly fund it by investing in the pool. But the key would be to 6 Adani listed companies between 2017 6 Adani companies between 2017 and 2020 has been summarized by SEBI in the table below. Company, Adani company name, FBI shareholding in 17, 18, 19 and 20. Adani Enterprises Limited 12.87, 16.91, 14.96, 15.56. Adani Transmission Limited 14.58, 17.99, 17.13, 18.05. Adani Total Gas Limited 0, 0, 18.62 and 17.91. Adani Green Energy Limited 0, 0, 9.54, 20.39. Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited 6.53, 000. Adani Power Limited 17.11, 13.64, 12.12, 21, 14.11. Para number 40. The probe by SEBI has therefore been focused on the ultimate economic ownership of these 13 overseas entities, that is 12 FBIs and one financial institution. Typically, collective investment pools have two types of shareholders, that is shareholders who own the equity and control the funds raised, and shareholders who contribute the funds and participate in the returns generated by the controlling shareholders. It is the controlling shareholders who have title to the decisions taken by the collective investment pools. Para number 41. Each of the 13 overseas entities has identified the beneficial owner for the purpose of PMLA rules, and thereby these are the persons to be identified as the ultimate beneficial owner for the purposes of FPI regulations. This is the information that the FPI regulations require an FPI to provide when sought. SEBI has confirmed that each of these 13 overseas entities have declared their ultimate beneficial owners as required by PMLA. It is extracted below. Serial number 1. Elara India Opportunities Fund, Elara Capital Limited controlling shareholder. Name of the beneficial owner Rajendra Bhatt. Nationality is UK. 2. Vespara Fund Limited. Controlling shareholder is Elara Asset Maintenance Management Limited, held 100% by Elara Capital PLC. Name of the PO is Mr. Rajendra Bhatt. Nationality is UK. 3. Marshall Global Capital Fund Limited. Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholders are Marshall Advisors Limited, held 100% by Lumen Capital Limited Capital Fund Pte Limited. Name of the beneficial owner is Mr. Numi Venkataramanamurthy. Nationality is Singapore. 4. Emerging India Focus Funds, Mauritius. Controlling shareholder is Emerging India Fund Management Limited, held by the Emerging Fund Trust. Beneficial owner is Trident Trust Company Limited. As trustee of the trust, Mr. Jimmy Iniesta as settler. Nationality is Mauritius. 5. EM Resurgent Fund. Jurisdiction Mauritius. Controlling shareholder Emerging India Fund Management Limited, held by the Emerging Fund Trust. The BO is Trident Trust Company Limited. As trustee of the trust, Mr. Jimmy Iniesta as settler. Nationality is Mauritius. 6. Cresta Fund Limited. Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholder is Dirotera Holding Limited. BO is Mr. Mark Dungal. Nationality is Switzerland. 7. Albula Fund Limited. Jurisdiction Mauritius. Controlling shareholder Kanur Investment Holding Limited. BO is Miss Anna Lucia von Singer Berger. Nationality is Switzerland. 8. FPI is APMS Fund Limited. Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholder is MIH International Limited. BO is Mr. Halschar Gungu Hal Even. Nationality is Switzerland. 9. FPI is LTS Investment Limited. Nationality is Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholder Helvetic Capital Private Limited. Management Limited. BO is Mr. Alstorin Guribin UN. Nationality is Switzerland. 10. FPI is Asia Investment Corporation Mauritius Limited. Jurisdiction Mauritius. Controlling shareholder MIH International Limited. BO is Mr. Alstar Guningo Even. Nationality is Switzerland. And Mrs. Yona Even Kunuga, BO, and nationality is Switzerland. 11. FPI is Polis Global Fund. Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholder is Fidelis Global Asset Management Limited. BO is Mr. Eugenio Dono. Nationality is Mauritius. 12. FPI is New Lenia Investments Limited. Jurisdiction is Cyprus. controlling shareholders Andita Private Equity NV. BO is Stitching for Substantial Development, a Dutch foundation, Mr. Jane Schillings. Nationality is Netherlands. And Miss Margaret Elsie Sake, she, Mr. Colin Peter were BOs. Nationality is Netherlands. 13. Opal Investments Private Limited and Financial Institution. Jurisdiction is Mauritius. Controlling shareholder is Zenith Commodities General Trading LLC. BO is Mr. Adil Hassan Ahmed Alalai. Nationality is UAE. Para number 42. Now, information about 42 investors in the FBIs who have invested their monies in these funds under the control of the beneficial owner identified and declared under the PMLA rules is available. These 42 contributors are spread across 7 jurisdictions. It is the ownership pattern of these 42 investors about which SEBI has made references to the Enforcement Directorate, Central Board of Direct Taxes and the regulators in various jurisdictions. Para 43. As noticed earlier, under the regulatory framework, the meaning of the term ultimate beneficial owner is to be adapted from the meaning of the term beneficial owner under Rule 9 of the PMLA rules. A plain reading of the Rule 9 of the PMLA rules would show that in the context of FPIs, the beneficial owner is the natural person who has A. Where the FPI in question is a company, the beneficial owner is the natural person who has a controlling ownership interest or who exercises control through other means. B. Where the FPI in question is a partnership, the beneficial owner is the natural person who has an ownership of entitlement to more than 15% of the profits or capital in the partnership. C. Where the FPI in question is an unincorporated association or body of individuals, the beneficial owner is the natural person who has the ownership or entitlement to more than 15% of the property or capital or profits of such association or body. D. Where no natural person is identified under the foregoing, the beneficial owner would be the natural person who holds the position of a senior managing official. E. Where the FPI in question is a trust, the author of the trust, the trustees and the beneficiaries with interest of 15% or more in the trust property or any natural person exercising ultimate effective control over the trust. Para 44. Therefore, at the heart of the provisions is the person who has control over the FPI. If no person is identified, then senior officials would have to be identified. In the case of each of these FPI, they have identified the beneficial owner for the purpose of PMLA. One would need to bring a case to show that these declarations are false. It does not appear that the Directorate of Enforcement has taken a position that such declarations are inaccurate. SEBI has made a reference to the ED and that is discussed subsequently. Para 45. The key issue therefore is whether, as the law stands, one could draw a conclusion that the FPIs are friends for the promoters of the Adani Group. Indeed, what SEBI is investigating, and to be fair to SEBI, it has been investigating this for years before the Hindenburg report was published, is whether one could make a case that the FBIs are in fact investing funds of the promoters of Adani Group and therefore could be regarded as a friend for the promoters. If such an outcome in the investigation would come out about, it would mean that the promoters would not be compliant with the minimum public shareholding requirement. Para 46. SEBI has acknowledged that the declaration of those in control and in effective control has been made in the capacity as the ultimate beneficial owner. However, SEBI has expressed suspicion about shareholders who have contributed capital that is invested by the FPIs. SEBI has also stated that the controlling shareholders have full control and all the voting rights over the funds at the disposal of the FBIs. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, give your comments. Thanks for watching.